Hey everyone, it's another hot day. It's only been 3 days since I've checked on this triangular grate culvert. As you can see, it's no longer discharging anything downstream. Water levels look like they're very high and healthy. Here on the other side, wow, for just 3 days, the beavers have already clogged it enough to raise it up about a half a foot. They're very busy, these beavers. Nice and peaceful out. All right, let's pull this thing apart again. All right, everyone, we're ready to go. Gonna give you a slightly different angle that I haven't showed you before. So beavers clogged this up in just 3 days, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. Yep, we were here 3 days ago. Blockage was probably this high. It's only about half what there was. I'm amazed that they did it so fast. I know beavers, they probably did this thing overnight, but it's just been so dry out. I didn't think they would have put it up so fast with the slow current once the pond dropped back. I've been here times, it's almost been going over the top. All right, let's do this. There's a pretty fresh beer can. And there's also a very fresh cigarette butt someone left here on the edge. Someone was probably here fishing recently. Got to get some current going to pull all that junk through the pipe. Oh, here we go. There's a lot of it. This clog is a lot more mud than sticks. The most abundant material the beavers had to do this. Now that we're starting to get current, it'll start pushing through. There we go, the whole pile's starting to slide through. You'll be able to see that on camera number 2 in just a minute. Because the water's so low, we're pretty close to the pond's bottom. So it's creating pretty strong undertow. So mud and sludge is just coming back over pretty fast. Mud's actually heavy, that's why it's taking a bit longer. That was a rock. Beavers always reinforce the bottom of their dam with rocks. That's how they help weight all the sticks down. All right, we're just about done. Here's a little bit more sludge that the undertow created. Now that there's not as much current against the structure, it doesn't feel as heavy as in times past with a massive amount of water pushing against it. Now you can see the water is not in a big hurry to get out of there. The water is almost the same height on each side. If the height on each side ever does become equal from the Beaver Dam downstream, holding up more and more water, I have noticed that over the years, more and more. Most of the debris we send through here is waterlogged and it just sinks. Beavers typically won't reuse things unless it's an emergency. This trash rack is just to stop them from building a bigger problem inside the pipe. Looks like it's doing a good job. This trash rack works amazing if it's installed correctly. About a month or two ago, an excavator operator put it down in the wrong spot. If that hole right there wasn't there, beavers wouldn't be able to get inside it. I just tried to move it. It's not very heavy. The issue is there's so much silt around it. The structure actually goes a foot down in the ground and there's like this so much junk around it. It wouldn't be able to easily be moved out. That actually did help a little bit. It closed a little bit. Yeah, the problem is this thing is down in almost a foot of silt, sticks and sludge. It's going to have to be dug out in front of this pipe before it's put back. It's the only way this thing's ever going to be seated properly. I did improve it a little bit, but I can't get it the rest of the way. I might be able to. I'm going to try digging out a little bit at the end, see if I can slide it any. There is a lot of sticks in its way. Yeah, there's a lot of sticks down there. still can't feel the bottom of the structure. I can barely fit around it now. I fit around it pretty well the other day. I got it a little closer. I can't fit around it anymore. Needs to be seated better at some point. Okay, I have a question here for the viewers. What do you think of this? On the end of this log, there's a rope right here. See it? If you pull the rope in from the water, it's got a piece of meat hanging on it, a piece of raw meat. What is that? Looks maybe a piece of pork chop or something. What could that be for? Beavers aren't meat eaters. The only thing that would probably eat that is a turtle. Or that meat, maybe catfish. I've never seen anything like that in here, but I'm gonna try to move this grate a little bit, try to reposition the bottom. I don't think I can do it, but I'm gonna give it a shot. Yeah, guys, you see how much of it was buried? I'll flip the thing back. I just gotta get this stuff off. And in the bottom of it, there's so much stuff here caused by the beavers. This may actually work. Yeah, there's a ton of it. A lot of beaver debris down here. I'm getting it back down to sandy riverbed. That's what I'm feeling. Trying to get rid of all the sticks. All right, let's see how it seats. wow, we actually got it up to it pretty nicely. All right, I gotta figure out where the debris is to make this thing sit flatter. That side's perfect. So what was making it wobbly is on the other side. All right, I got that thing pretty sturdy. I got a lot of sand in my gloves trying to get it out. All right, everyone, the water is very warm today, very hot out, and I got that thing to seat pretty nicely. It's in there pretty stable. We got it completely back up against the culvert. So now the possibility of beavers creating another internal blockage. It was pretty bad 3 days ago. Today they barely got anything in there. They basically just plugged the hole, not inside. Since the water's so low, I'm actually noticing there's a bunch of fencing right there underneath that pole. Because typically those poles right there are completely underwater. I didn't even know those poles were there. That means they must have had a fence way around the culvert before they thought of this genius triangular idea. This triangular idea is the best thing I've seen so far. It's been here for years. Beavers clog it up really slowly. Has to be maintained a few times a year, but that's about it. Most places use a beaver deceiver, which is probably the cheapest option, but it actually makes the beavers smarter, and it only works between 3 months and a year. All right, this thing's flowing nicely now. Let's go check out the other side. Now you see there's barely any current. That's because the water level on this side is almost matching the pond on this side. The water level on this side is controlled by that gigantic 1,000-foot long beaver dam down there. We're gonna hop back in the water here. Because water conditions are so low, we didn't have enough pressure to clear this junk out the end of the pipe. There's no more inside the pipe, but it's here on the end, so I'm gonna have to quickly get down there and get that free. All right, here I go. I remember this being pretty deep 3 days ago. That's why I'm not gonna just jump in. All right, that's all we needed. That's all it took. That's pretty cool. See that stick that's coming up right there from the current? I actually did a video a while back in Massachusetts where a stick that was like 8 feet long somehow got stuck like that. It flipped up. It almost knocked out camera 2. That was a close one. But the rest of this will get pushed out by the next big blast, whenever that may happen. It looks like we're going to be in a pretty dry summer for the foreseeable future. But hot weather does cause torrential downpours, which will drop a quick inch. But it's so dry, the woods will probably absorb it, and there probably won't be much of a flood, especially in a rural area. It'll cause floods in the city, all the pavement shedding water into the streams. All right, everyone, we're about 5 minutes up the road. The water that goes to that beaver pond that we just unclogged comes from here. Any leakage from here goes down there. You see, because of the drought, they're a little bit below capacity, but not bad at all. You can see along the edge, you can see their beaver dam. It's lost about 2 feet of water. There actually used to be a beaver deceiver unit down there going through the dam because park rangers didn't want it to come up here onto the road, since when it does get 2 feet higher, that's only about a foot below the road. You see all these rock walls? This used to all be farmland back in the day. But now, anytime this beaver lodge gets high, park rangers go in there. Every time this beaver dam gets high, not the lodge, the park rangers go in there by hand and they just break a big part of it. Since they know the beaver deceiver doesn't work, and it's not practical to put a bigger structure in there because it would be too invasive on the forest. So anything that leaks out of that dam comes down here, and this stream is what feeds the triangular grate further down. And a lot of poison ivy around here too. It's what you're seeing mixed in here. But I'm going to take a quick little walk right here and show you. So this is the water that feeds it. So this is actually another beaver pond here with a lot of nice water lilies. See purple ones, yellow ones. Another beaver dam right there. Also about a foot below capacity. And up here, another beaver pond. It looks like just an endless chain of beaver ponds making its way down there. As you can see, there's very little flow here. So that means this has to be only part of what's feeding the triangular rack. If it was fully, we would have barely anything. You saw down there, that was trickling a good amount. Here, there's barely anything, except a whole ton of frogs. So there must be another stream that it's picking up from. Hey everyone. All right, we're back. About 8 hours later. It's now about to be midnight. It's pretty late out. We're gonna see if the beavers have done anything in just the past 8 hours. I bet they have. Am I right? Totally right, yeah. Looks like the beavers are really running out of supplies. Look at that. They're putting grass there. Definitely that grass did not get ripped out by itself. Beavers. There's not much here. We'll check back. Probably gonna wait off a few months. Look at that. There's a lot of spider friends right here building around this pipe. Probably a good air current that attracts a lot of insects. But take a look. There is now almost zero flow. I can see it going very, very slowly. And that's because for the first time I've ever seen, the flow is so low. It literally is matching the depth of the other side here. And because it's going so slow, I bet beavers, until it starts picking up, they're not going to clog this because it's perfectly even on both sides. I got to leave it to them, though. Beavers are really good engineers. This pond right here that we're looking at, you can't really see much because it's dark, but that gigantic 1,000-foot long dam is so watertight. This pond is barely getting any water actually entering it. It's amazing that they're able to keep it at such high capacity. It's actually the same depth as normal, maybe even higher. But you see, without a blockage, this side's not going to build up. The beavers aren't going to build another blockage here. It's unlikely with such little flow. They're probably not going to do much here until we get another rainstorm. Because this has like zero flow. Running water is what attracts a beaver. There's no running water, there's no noise. This area of Massachusetts is about to hit a severe drought. This is a moderate drought right now that we're in, so I don't think there's going to be much rain anytime soon. We're about to hit a severe drought. I actually just drove here from Florida to Massachusetts, which is about a 2-hour drive out, and that is like basically the furthest west and north you can get in the state. The drought there is like, I'd say moderate, but I don't think they're anywhere near severe. I've seen that area worse off in 2020 because they actually have a good flow in that culvert up there. Yeah, I hear a whole bunch of frogs. I actually just remembered I actually should get back in the car. I am not fearful that something would actually attack me, but on the way out here in these woods, I saw a big, dark figure, and I just saw a mouse run across the street. Maybe you saw that on the camera, probably. There was a big, dark figure in the middle of the road. It was huge. It was a black bear standing on its hind legs, staring at me. As soon as I got closer, it took off. It was just curious. It doesn't mean me any harm. It's unlikely for a black bear to attack. They're not like grizzlies. They usually just run away unless you get between them and their baby, or... yeah, I don't encounter black bears often, probably only 3 times in the past 2 years, and those encounters are just them in the distance running in the woods as I approach. I don't think I've ever encountered one on foot. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a great night. Yeah, there's a ton of it. A lot of beaver debris.